Hi everyone, it's Heidi here from Flutter by Heidi. I'm Heidi Smith, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United Kingdom, and today I'm continuing my series of Basket of Blooms cards. So this is the card we're making today, and these are the other ones that are made using the same stamp set. So as you can see, you don't have to use the punch all the time. However, in this one we are going to, and it's the small bloom punch, which is this one here. I'm also using some of our rhinestones, which are lovely and sparkly. I'm using some of the some old ones. I'm using up my stash, but they come in they still come in 3 different sizes, and they are great value. And the punch is a super punch. So coordinates with this. If you were able to get it in Celebration, there was a lovely stamp set, thoughtful blooms that it came with, and you might have earned the punch as well. But if you didn't, you can buy this now, which is great for all your card making. So this card here, you can see I've used the basket image, and I'm just going to show you how I've kind of 3D'd these flowers using a range of inks as well, just to create this pretty card front. So to start off with then, you're going to need a scrap of Whisper White card, and we're going to do some stamping. So the first thing I want to do is stamp my basket. So I'm using Crumb Cake, which is one of our lovely sort of neutral colours, and I'm just going to, Stamping Pierce mat is not here, so I'm just going to use, this is one of the inners from one of our block case that you can store our blocks in. So if you get one of those, then that's perfect. You just keep those because it's always useful, or a mouse mat if you haven't got one. So that's our basket, and Crumb Cake, mine stamps quite dark. It's quite a new pad, that one, quite wet and juicy, and it will just dry off slightly lighter in a moment. Next up, what I'm going to do is, while that is drying, I'm going to stamp some of our flowers. So I'm going to need some, I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to use Melon Mambo as my 2 flower inks. And I'm going to use this sort of, it's almost like a zebra, I'm going to say it's a zebra pattern. It's not a zebra pattern, but it's kind of almost that sort of effect. Just to stamp a couple of these flowers to show you how I'm going to make up those part flowers on the bottom. And I'm going to use my stripy flower. And you'll notice when I stamp these, apart from that one, I've gone a little bit too close to the edge. I'm stamping on the edge, but with the sort of middle leaf pointing up. And that's so that we can easily use our punch to punch these out. So if I do an extra one. I'm also using some Pear Pizzazz as well for some leaves. And because what I've done is I've actually hand cut some of the leaves out as well. You can see here, just to give some added dimension. It always just adds a little bit more texture to it. So I've used this sort of pointed leaf here as well. And we'll cut those out as well. So pop that to one side, and you're going to need to create yourself a card base, and I've used a layer of Daffodil Delight for this one. So my card base here is 14.5 by 21, which I've scored in half at 10.5. I've then cut a piece of 14 by 10 Daffodil Delight and just gutted it 2 centimetres to create an inner frame, and I use that for other projects, and that's my card base. So what I'm going to do now is create the Whisper White layer, so 13.5 by 9.5. I'm going to use my reach across, lovely view of my arm there, get my Crumb Cake out again, just ink that up, and then roughly in the centre, towards the bottom, I'm just going to put my basket. And that's just to help me centre where everything else is. I'll put a really nice, and turn that over because I've managed to get my finger in the ink pad there. Like so. So I put the ink out of the way so that I don't create any more mess. And that's just to help me create my design and help sort of give it some shape, but I'm obviously going to cover that up with my basket that I'm going to die cut in. Die cut. I'm not going to die cut it at all. That I'm going to cut out. Now I'm using my Pear Pizzazz ink here, and I'm coming in with this sort of branching leaf, like so, and I'm just going to pop sort of 4 of those. Just to sort of give us the basis of our sort of floral display. I'm then going to come in with my little leaf that I've used already with some soft sea foam. So this is a really pretty sort of pale card and ink, but it works so well with lots of others. So again, just sort of and this just helps fill in the design. You can always come back in and put some more in later. So I'm now going to leave my Pear Pizzazz out, and I'm going to come in my Daffodil Delight, and this little flower here is a really pretty one, and I'm going to colour the flower at the top and then colour the stem just by inking it up. So I'm going to come in and ink up the top section with my Daffodil Delight, and then just dip the stem in, and then I'm going to come in with that and pop some of those in the gaps. And again, pop one, might even pop one coming down round the side there. And then once you've done that and you've kind of got a basis of basic frame, I then just popped in a few of the small flowers in Melon Mambo, just of almost as if they're part of this little stem here, like so. And then we can start filling our basket with our other flowers. So what I've done is we've stamped our flowers, and now what we need to do is cut those out. So come in with your punch, and once you've opened it up, just come in underneath and just align that around your flower. As I said, by keeping that top one done, they're sorted. Do the same with our yellow one, and I'll show you how I've created my sort of half flowers. Now what you could do with these, if you wanted to, was create one flower and cut it in half, but I find then you sort of have half leaves, which aren't so good. So what I've done, what I'm going to do, is take your snips, and you're going to come in and cut 2 petals off, but just go slightly round at the bottom, like so, and all will become clear. So again, in, slightly round rather than straight off, and there we go. And we're also going to cut our basket. Nice, it's a nice simple shape, so just cut that out, and obviously I'm leaving the handle. You could take the handle off if you wanted. It would add another way of creating your basket. I think this is such a pretty set, sort of perfect for kind of spring or summer flowers, depending on what colours you went for. So I'm going to bring back in my block, and this is the reason for grabbing a Stampin' Pierce mat, which are now available again, I'm delighted to say. I'm putting all of these flowers face down, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to just shape those. Now I've got a large ball tool. Stampin' Up don't actually do one, but if you haven't got one, then obviously you could. I tend not to use the ball tool on the end of the pick. Take your pick, because I find it's quite small and I tend to be a bit heavy-handed. So if I weren't going to use that, you can use the edge of your scissors, you can use your bone folder as well, and that'll help create some dimension. So I'm coming in and I'm just sort of shaping this, and then we're going to start creating some flowers. So once you've shaped them on the reverse, turn those over and press down in the middle of each of them to kind of give our shape to our flowers. A little bit of tombow in the middle of the 5-petaled flower, and for the 3-petaled, well, there's half flower, I'm just putting a little bit on the bottom of the 2 petals, which I'm then just going to sort of part slide there, and then you'll see that kind of rounded bit gives a pretty effect for our flower. I'm going to pop that to one side so it's not on my Stampin' Pierce mat. Everything gets very gluey. So it's just on the back there. Then pop that, so just a slide, and so you just get a little bit more shape then with those. And obviously with this one you're just going to offset slightly, so line those up with the gaps in the middle and pop that to one side, or throw it across your desk as I've just done. There we go, the joys of live video. Okay, so let's move my mat out and show you what I'm going to do. So to create the dimension on this, I've made it slightly higher in the top. So what I'm going to do is come in with some dimensionals. I'm just going to use my mini dimensionals for these. And I'm going to pop a couple on the middle there, but actually I'm going to pop one on either side, and I'm going to kind of double stack those ones in the middle. So this very middle one, take the backing paper off and just then pop another dimensional on the top there. And come in and pop our basket, and that just gives it a little bit more height in the middle and sort of basket shape, so sort of you get a more bowed shape. Then I'm coming in with my flowers, and on all of these I'm just popping a dimensional on the back. So I've made an extra one, as you can see, just to save. And I'm popping those next, and they're going to go instead of the middle on the bottom there. Put one at the edge, and then I'm going to, this one with the smaller bit, I'm just going to pop like so. Then all you need to do is pop some dimensionals on the back of our pink flowers. Another couple here, and tuck that into there. As I say, I could have probably cut the basket off here, and I might even add in an extra flower or two. Yep, I think I'll probably move that one slightly. Pop this one in instead. Another dimensional. Again, by not pressing down too hard, you'll find that it's a little bit more opportunity for movement. You do have to take the backing paper off though, strangely enough. Yeah, I might even pop in an extra one in there. And then all we need to do is add our rhinestones. Which I have, some rhinestones. And just pop those in. Now obviously you can use your take your pick tool to add those. I might even use the larger ones, I think, on those. and then come in with the leaves. And with the leaves I've shaped them, so I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the end to fill in some of those gaps, as you can see there. So just like so, just a little dab of glue. And that just fills out our basket. Right here. I might pop an extra yellow flower in there in a minute, I think. And then another one on the edge here. So you've kind of got pairs of leaves, but one is flat and one has got a bit of dimension to it. Then all that's left to do is just layer up our card. So to do that, I'm just going to pop that over, grab my Stampin' Seal, and you just really run that really gently over the edge of your card. Line that up on our paper. Do the same again onto this layer, or you could add some more dimensions if you wanted. I'm not, because I think I've got enough dimension on the front of my card as it is. And then all that remains is I shall stamp a little on the inside. But there we have a pretty basket of flowers card ready to send. So, what do you think? Which one do you prefer, pink or yellow? I think they're both equally lovely. Thank you for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and don't forget to have a look at the other videos in this suite so you can find some more inspiration. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, pop along to my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, if you'd like to purchase any of the products, or go along to my blog and follow the links there. Bye now.